Brother Bill. Is that the name that you go by in this?
That'll do.
Brother Bill, Lonesome Dave,
And
Ukulele Uff.
I haven't heard that for a while.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I know you're not very lonesome when there's three of you, really, are you? So, I mean, I'm trying to think back now when the first time I saw you guys, but I suppose it would be Sid Bailey's, wasn't it?
Yeah, Peter
Cabanas.
Yeah, we were on about that the other night, and I was saying to Paraben, I'm sure, didn't you tell me that you could go on a tour of that pub and get took round it?
Yeah, it's not
Not
an official tour, like.
Yeah, an unofficial one off the Cellar Man.
Oh, the Cellar Man. Is he still there?
I think so. Yeah, he'll show you around. He knows all the little stories about the place. Like fascinating. Like
there's all stuff like the carvings were paid on a tab. You know, the guy who done the carvings on the armrests.
Oh, is that right? I thought it was the paintings.
That's true. And the carvings.
No, do you reckon the carvings? Well, I was told, whether it's true, I don't know. It was the carpenters working on the Anglican. They used to go there for the bevy after.
Oh right, okay.
Don't know if it's true.
Yeah, if it's true.
Another one, do you reckon? On either fireplace, in the two snugs, either fireplace, around the hearth, the metal ridge is an old train wheel.
Oh,
that's been cut in half.
Right,
one for that room, one for that room.
Right.
And the story goes, we know Robert Stevenson.
Yeah.
Is it Robert Stevenson?
The first fella.
George Stevenson.
Oh, aye, the rocket fella.
He lived on Upper Parliament Street, round the corner.
Yeah, it is that old, isn't it? Isn't it old Georgian round there or something?
Yeah. So apparently they reckon it was a gift to Peter Kavanagh from George Stevenson.
Oh, right, because wasn't he the alderman of Liverpool?
Who? Stevenson?
Peter Kavanagh.
The which? The what?
The wardrobe.
The
which they wear the wardrobe.
The alderman.
Wasn't Peter Kavanagh the alderman of Liverpool?
Yeah, I'll have to explain what an alderman is.
So the Buzz Aldrin of Toxton. We're back to smoking Maui Wowie. An alderman's like an official title, like a mayor or something like that.
Some sort of mayor, a councillor, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an alderman. Yeah. You told me that.
Yeah, did I?
Yeah.
True that. Yeah, definitely true. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Let's get my dictionary out.
But do you reckon it was from? Well, I was told it was from like the prototype or something like of the rock.
Right.
And he gave it to.
Aren't the tables off like Cunard?
Yeah, Peter Kavanagh was a bit of an inventor, wasn't he? So he invented them for the Cunard or White Star. They were on some of their ships.
Yeah, I remember that.
As well.
There were some fucking great nights on a Tuesday night in there. They really were rocking.
Yeah, amazing.
Because we were on about it the other night and how good it was. And
it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's a shame that it doesn't carry on, but obviously things change. And
it's pretty special when it did. Like.
Oh, God, yeah.
Things have a life, don't they, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it must have been a good 5 years, though, you were doing
it. So,
yeah. Something like that.
We started off every night, every Tuesday, and then it went to every other Tuesday, didn't it?
For the
right.
Yeah.
I just remember all the sort of cast of characters that would get up and do whatever, just all the old boys and stuff.
Yeah.
Who, didn't you say one of them?
Unfortunately, Billy Whelan passed away just not too long ago, a month ago or so maybe. Yeah.
And was Billy getting up and singing? Was he?
Every week without fail. He was incredible, Billy.
Yeah,
we've got recordings of him. I'm searching them out at the moment, so I can send.
And they're decent enough to sort of put out there.
His wife, you know.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. We've done an actual. Someone came into Peter Kavanagh and recorded us in there with a proper engineer, you know.
Yeah. So, well, I remember there was a video done. Didn't Jake do a video?
Yeah.
Did he? There was a video.
Yeah, there was a couple of videos.
Yeah,
well, there is a video on YouTube of Billy Whelan singing.
Yeah.
Billy
but it's just somebody out the audience on a phone or something.
He was pretty special.
Like. So what was Billy's story then?
What was the story? Wow, God, I mean.
Well, in regard to how you knew him, he always drank in there, or he was.
No, we met him. I met him first in the Marlborough.
Right, yeah.
The Marlborough, where the Downtown Dixieland Jazz Band, they used to play on the Marlborough Slater Street. They played there. Like, they played there every Wednesday.
We did a Sir Henry, and you took us down there.
Yeah,
if you remember, and we saw him.
Yeah, we started
going there. So that's who
he
was.
Yeah, it was their banjo player John Cordwell. He brought Billy over to me one night and just kind of said, "Yeah, he plays ukulele," because Billy played as well.
Yeah.
And we got talking and realised we had far too much in common than we should do for that age gap.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just become good mates. Like, he was just great. I just loved all the same stuff he did. He was.
There's a guy who wasn't there a guy who died last year who didn't he make a folding double bass for you or something?
Oh, Stan,
Stan
yeah,
Francis.
Stan Francis.
That was it,
Absolute
Stan.
legend,
He
Stan
made
Francis.
guitars for Lonnie Donegan.
Johnny
Donnie
Lonergan.
Lonergan.
Oh,
Lonnie
Good old
Donegan.
Donnie.
And, Keith Richards has got one of his guitars,
The
apparently.
famous one was the 12-string, wasn't it? The
Pete Seeger.
Pete Seeger 12-string. That was the famous one with Martin.
Stan Francis was an absolute legend. Stan
Martin
Francis.
copied the design off for their 12-string.
Right, I remember you saying. He said that his guitars have been ripped off, but don't tell anyone. And
Yeah,
He didn't want to know.
He didn't even want
No,
to
no, I know.
Well, he didn't want to know where Martin know where he lived or anything.
Everyone told him, yeah, Martin, they're doing your guitar. You'll get a
It's on their
fortune,
website.
like.
It actually says.
Does it
I mean,
really?
They do acknowledge him, like, but he never
what
got
that was
any
all
for it.
about.
But they didn't know
Well,
whether he
never
was even still
contacted
alive.
or anything, I don't think.
Pardon?
I don't
No.
know if he wanted to even contact
No,
him.
No,
he
he
didn't.
didn't.
He didn't
want
want to
anything
be
to do
known.
with
When I
it.
told him, he
Yeah.
said, "Don't be telling them, mate. I don't want anyone knocking on the door."
Yeah, I don't want
anyone knocking on the
I don't want Martin canvassing the door.
He
Right,
was
so
amazing.
he was frightened because of his own success or something, like.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't care and he was happy, maybe.
Yeah.
Content, you
He's
know,
like
with what he
he's
had,
like
maybe,
the
you
most
know.
famous luthier you've never heard of, kind of thing. You know what I
You
mean?
saw all these Americans turning up at his house,
a nice
wanting to see his
attitude, I
workshop
think.
and things. He just take him out to see his old shed at the back.
Yeah. He was just
Yeah, he sounds
Special.
proper. I mean,
Yeah, quite an inventor.
It's like Keith Richards had one of his guitars. He said he said he got an order to make Keith Richards a guitar,
yeah.
and he said like when he finished the guitar, like no contact with Keith Richards. Like this car just turned up, like a black car or something with blacked out windows, and these guys got up to the guitar, gave him the money, and went.
Wow.
I think like in the early 60s, I think like everyone in Liverpool had Stan Francis guitar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like Lonnie Donegan was doing a gig, wasn't he, at the Cavern
Right.
one night, and just picked up someone's guitar and was like,
Who made
Who
this?
made this? Where'd you get this from? He just put an order in straight away, and then he was doing a gig with Pete Seeger or something, and
Yeah.
same thing happened. Picked his guitar up, was like, who the hell did you get this off?
Well, you play, and I think you play as well. You can tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm generally am. The old Martin Ukes, right? Is that right?
Yeah, that's what Martin played.
Yeah, and don't you have?
I've got a Martin, yeah.
But wasn't one of yours stands or something when he died? Didn't you? One of you buy it or something? I can't remember now.
No, that was another story. No, that
That's your
that
one,
was
isn't it? That's your
the
youth, but
guy
it's-
Your
in
one.
Canada.
Yeah, kind of inherited.
Yeah,
Martin, like.
yeah. Sorry, yeah. So you're still
Not from
playing
Stan
this?
Francis,
Oh, is
though.
it not?
No.
So this is another interesting old boy then.
Yeah, well, I never even met the fella,
Oh, right.
unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, a fella called Colin Jones. No, never met him. Would have liked to have met him, like.
Right.
No, I just got this fella passed away just before Christmas. It was just a few years ago now. It must have been like 2011, 2010, 2011, something like that.
maybe.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even been playing uke that long, really, a few years. And his son-in-law he apparently he'd always said, like, he'd always collected, but he loved banjos, anything 4-string banjos.
Yeah, that's
guitars,
him.
ukuleles,
That's
like,
who I'm getting mixed up with.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
you telling me this collection now. Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. Apparently he'd always said he wanted like kind of lone banjo or uke or something at his funeral, like. And he passed away, and the family didn't really know anyone else who was into that. So his son-in-law just went out into town, just like on a wild goose chase, ready to find someone, and like wandered around music shops and couldn't find anyone. And someone ended up directing him down to the docks, because there used to be an alpha. He used to play banjo uke on the docks.
Right.
He hadn't been there for years though, so he went there looking for him. He went there, and I was working on like a little tourist boat at the time, and I've always had my uke with me, so someone just said, this fella down there, like, so yeah, he come up and just she said, yeah, listen, I'm not mad, but
old school,
you know what I mean?
No internet and
just wandered around and found someone, like, you know.
that's
Asked
how you got
me
the
to play
uke?
the funeral, yeah. So yeah, did closer walk with D, but they used to do like the New Orleans,
Right.
funerals and that. Yeah, it's proper nerve-wracking, like just like a graveside and in the procession and stuff, like. And then afterwards I went back to the wake, and I'm still in touch. Funny enough, I've been texting his daughter
Right.
today, still in touch, like.
So that's the story behind the uke then. I knew there was some.
Yeah.
So they let him keep the ukulele, like, you know.
I've never even seen a Martin uke before, to be honest, like.
No,
even seen
they're
one,
really
and,
cute looking things as well. I remember when I first saw whichever one had it first, because I think that you were playing it at the Bloomsbury, weren't you, when you were talking to Elliot? And that's when Elliot was. That's when you talked to about Roy Smeck.
Oh, Elliot Handel,
Yeah. Because I remember that. That was a fucking mad moment as well. It was like Roy. Was it Roy Smeck?
Roy Smeck was his guitar teacher.
1 degree of separation.
Yeah.
I just remember them having a chat, and it was just like.
Because Elliot was out of Steely Dan, and Chris had never heard of Steely Dan.
Well, he
before.
wouldn't, would he? They're new
like,
guys.
No, he wasn't impressed at all when he said, when he mentioned Roy Smeck. He was like, who?
Yeah, he was like, I don't suppose you've ever heard of a fella called Roy Smeck. Like, Roy Smeck.
It's the same with Rick Wakeman. You'd never heard of him either, had you?
No, he's one of the new boys as well,
New
Chris.
boys,
Yeah.
And we were talking to him all night about Norman Wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh, you would be. His stories about Norman.
Oh no, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was a top boy as well.
Yeah.
So
Was it him the one who someone told us one about the you probably tell it better, the September the 11th Norman Wisdom story when he's in the airport.
Yeah, that was Ricky Tomo told us that, wasn't it? Yeah,
you should tell that.
You're not supposed to say that, though.
I don't really know it. When he was over for the Doddy too,
He was in
really.
the airport on September the 11th.
Yeah, and it was like a real hushed tone in the airport, and
So what's this?
He was still doing
9/11.
Yeah, it only just happened, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got a flight back to the Isle of Man, hasn't he, or something?
Norman Wisdom.
There's still flights to the Isle of Man.
Right.
The only one.
September the 12th it is.
Right.
The day after, apparently it was, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
So he's in the airport and everyone's apparently, on the best behaviour. Everyone's nervous, So he gets to the escalator and he does, as soon as he gets to the bottom of the escalator, he does the classic, the Norman Wisdom fall off the bottom of the escalator,
Obviously.
So that was the story.
Lighten the mood.
That's what you need.
That's what they
innit?
needed.
Rick told me that when Rick met his wife, Rachel, I think her name is, first thing it's like, she wanted to meet Norman. You would, wouldn't you?
Obviously.
Yeah,
so of course.
Rick and his new wife went round and they said, we'll take Norman out for a meal.
Yeah.
And so Rick and they got to the house and I think his housekeeper opened the door and said, oh, he's just getting changed, he won't be a minute. And so the next thing, he had a massive staircase in his house now, Wisdom, and from he's 88 or something at this point, and from the very top to the very bottom, he fell. He did his pratfalls, and he lay there at the bottom at Rick's wife's feet. And she's like, ah! And Rick didn't even turn right. So, oh yeah, he always does that. Let's go. And then he was saying
get up, Norman.
Oh, that's what he did. But they went to the restaurant and he was looking at the menu and he wouldn't have anything off the menu. He said, well, what do you want, sir? He said, orange tomato soup. And he's like, okay. So they went out and they brought it back and he put
Heinz
tomato soup he wanted, Norman. And they put it in front of him in this a la carte posh Isle of Man restaurant, And he's like that. No cretins. So they went and made him cretins. But yeah, I mean, I saw the documentary about him a few years ago. His upbringing was fucking
have you read his book?
No.
You want to read?
No, I can't. I'm not strong enough for such pain.
It's amazing, honestly.
Where did he walk from? He
walked. Yeah, he walked from. He was homeless, like, and everything.
Yeah.
His book might turn you about that much through it, and he hasn't even been on stage or anything.
Wow.
But yeah, he walked from London to Wales. Some lad he met on the street. I sorted out with a job when we got to Wales. We walked from London to Wales with this lad sleeping rough.
Didn't his mum die?
And then he just legged it. The lad just legged it when he got
What's
there.
the longest walk you ever
I don't know, down the street.
Yeah.
Didn't his mum die
Ran
and his
for the
dad
boss
pissed
once.
off or something? And they went in an orphanage or something?
His nose dad didn't piss off, but he was like a real horrible man, like,
Are we after the watershed here, are we then?
Oh yeah, we can
he's
Thank fuck for that.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
But yeah, his dad was just ruthless, really.
Well, he said
ruthless.
that he found his dad, didn't he? And he went round there, and his new wife opened the door, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is me dad."
Years later,
and she was like, "Oh well, you better sit down." So he sat on the sofa, and his dad comes home from work, walks through the front room, sees Norman on the couch. Goes to the kitchen, bit of a chinwag with her. He walks back through the front room, don't look at Norman, just opened the front door and went, out!
Yeah.
Norman just left and
went in the army.
Went on this mad adventure, yeah. He was homeless for years.
Sleeping on a bench and the guy making the butties, he's like that. You want to join the army? That's what I did.
Yeah.
And
look where it got me.
Always trust the feather in
I got my own butty van.
You got to read this book.
I will do actually. I will. I mean, the documentary's him in it. It's him in it.
Yeah. But if you're saying like it's not like depressing. It's like life reaffirming.
What he did with his life's amazing.
It's dead uplifting his book, even though it's harsh.
And he's
Yeah.
massive.
Amazing.
Where is it? He's massive as well. It's like Romania or somewhere.
It's
isn't it?
Bulgaria or
Romania?
somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a comedian called Tony Hawk who did a
That's
thing.
right. He got him to number 1, didn't he?
Yeah, because
And,
he's like, he symbolises the oppressed worker over in this
That's right,
Eastern Bloc
It's
country.
from the films, isn't it? What's his Mr. Grimsdale?
Yeah, Mr. Grimsdale. Yeah. Yeah, he's the worker. Well, you could do him brilliantly.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, you can jib the George Kirby act. and
George Kirby.
when I'm stuck in Widnes, you can jib that forever. But yeah, so I suppose we are drifting a little bit from. So the next job, I suppose,
Definitely,
I suppose the next job was when after the Sid Bailey's thing was going on your own, wasn't it? Really,
Whereas Chris today.
The recession.
Yeah, we should still
the Austerity Orchestra. Yeah, I must admit I've stolen that a few times.
Yeah,
it's too good not to.
It's good, like, isn't it?
Yeah, I
But
like
it was
that.
real,
one.
wasn't it? It was like suddenly like an 8-piece band, wasn't
Yeah.
No one could pay anymore, you know what I mean?
Well, they never paid anyway.
Never
That was
paid
the whole
much
fucking
anyway.
Send the
problem.
hat.
wasn't
Some
it?
of the stuff that
What
used to come back in that
well,
hat.
you know,
Well, I hope it was a decent bit of money and not
there
like
was to be all
a
sorts.
Karamak.
Yeah.
No,
Few
they,
IOUs.
3 pints in the night, like, and
yeah, nah, you.
I couldn't have it because I was driving, so
Oh yeah, so you'd get a warm coffee and there you go.
I'd have to bring a flask.
Oh, so you had a flask. They got
It's
arseholes and you
only
drove
half
them on.
hour to run corn, like.
So I remember the Austerity Orchestra. That's when I do ceremony with John. That's what I call it.
Is it?
Oh yes,
Well,
fucking
that was
hell.
our the first show that story actually we told, the Norman Wisdom story, then we heard that was our first show. We done the League of League of League of Bloody Do-Gooders.
Well-doers.
League of Well-Doers. League
Right.
of Bloody
Was it something to
Do-Gooders.
do with Doddy, was it?
The first show me and Chris
got it
Ukulele
through,
was
Doddy.
in the film.
That's
And
right. I
was a
remember it.
charity
Yeah.
event. And there was the guy there. He told us, and Ricky was there, wasn't he?
Was it?
The guy there told us that story anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Tony Bose.
Tony Bose.
Tony
yeah.
Bose.
Tony Bose.
Tony Boss?
Where's he docks and harbour boards or whatever it is? Little docks and ivies. I can't remember it now. So when did you enter the fray then?
Well, I was
When did
playing-
you gag in?
gagging my D's, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Bailey's.
Yeah.
And then they did a duo. They buggered off and did their own thing.
Yeah.
And Sid Bailey's split up and they said, like, do you want to have a go?
And that's it.
So when
He's
I
got
had
a
a
way,
go,
he's got
Boss is
an
telling
amazing
stories,
way
but-
with
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, I know. I was spellbound.
I'll have a go, I said. And I went,
How
"Have a
could
go."
you not? It's perfect.
But I mean, you really built this brand up really well over the last 5 years or so, haven't you? I mean, going all over Europe doing stuff.
Band,
Unconsciously.
band or brands?
Well,
I'm joking.
band or brand, it's
Yeah,
up
yeah,
to
of
you,
course.
isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I
You've
mean,
done well with it,
yeah.
yeah. You've done
Yeah.
well with it.
It
We
probably
just-
came from that original thing you did at the Phil.
The Phil, yeah, it was after that.
Because our Jake filmed that.
I've seen the film, I didn't see the gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the film,
Well,
Jake.
well, obviously, like, it was on YouTube, so like that's got like thousands of hits.
Right.
So only within a couple of weeks we got offered to go to Italy.
And that's
Yeah,
where you've
people
just
saw
been
it.
as well, the same
Yeah, yeah,
just
same,
the
yeah,
festival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Funnily enough, that was one of the second Uke Fests we played, and we've just gone back there finally, like 6 years later. You know?
Right.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's
I
got
mean,
full circle, you know.
I'll be honest with you. A lot of the uke stuff just leaves me fucking cold. It really is horrid when you see people doing ironic Britney Spears covers.
There's a lot of
Right.
that going on just anyway as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Modern music played
There's
in
like
an old
bluegrass
way.
stuff, like, has been doing that for a few years, haven't they? Like, playing
It's a double-edged sort of thing.
in
That,
an
'cause
elevator. Or Ace of Spades is the one that's always.
Hayseed Dixie.
Hayseed
Yeah,
Dixies, yeah.
Well, I mean, they sort of spawned a monster with that, though. I mean,
think
that was,
that was-
that was pretty decent.
What-
Then
what-
10 years later, it's
becomes a
Russ's
whole genre,
bands, they
doesn't
were
it, you know?
the
dreadful.
Russ's band, the oh god, what were they called?
Who's that?
Russ Williams, his band.
Oh, you mean from Runcorn?
His band's-
Yeah,
he's
they were
playing
doing
in
it.
Cali
They
in a
were
bit every
doing that
week,
years
yeah.
before them. I'm
We
sure,
got
like,
finished here in time.
they took a lot of that off them.
Yeah. Well, that was him and his dad, wasn't it?
No, it was after his dad. It was Christ, what are they called? Come back to it.
Something to do with Southgate or something.
What
No,
was that?
no,
Was that like,
Southgate. Is that what?
Bluegrass,
Bluegrass,
it's just- it's on the
metal
tip of my
covers
tongue.
in a bluegrass style or something, was it? that sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, but it was sort of, you know, done before
Baker's
people...
Fabulous Boys.
Fabulous.
Fabulous
Yeah,
Boys.
fabulous.
Well, seeing as we've done so much talking about music, are you going to give us your tune then, lads?
Let's do a tune, yeah?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
I know this Boss Britney Spears one.
Go on then. Yeah. No, you can't. You won't look as good as her in that glittery leotard in the video, I'm afraid.
In the red leathers.
Yeah. Was it red leathers?
Well, there's a few videos, probably a few videos.
You've clearly got a lot of
Depends
knowledge.
which one you're remembering. Well, you
Yeah.
remembering one.
I don't know. I think I'm thinking of bloody Whitney Houston. No, you know, another one who's the new one. Right, what are you going to give us then, chaps?
Crazy Words.
Crazy Words, yeah.
Crazy Words.
Crazy throws.
Yeah.
Right,
Ready then?
Bill's got his butt plug.
Right then, here we go. Okay. There's a guy I'd like to kill. If he doesn't stop, I will. He's got a ukulele and a voice as loud and shrill. And he lives next door to me. And he keeps me up, you see, with his ukulele and his funny melody. Crazy words, crazy tune. All that you ever hear him croon is bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Bo-do-do, he sits around all night long, sing the same words to every song. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. His ukulele, daily, how he'll strum, bum-bum-bum, prancing, dancing, then he'll holler black bottom. Crazy words and a crazy tune. He'll be driving me crazy soon with his bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Beg that man to stop. I've even called the cop. Told my dog go save him, but my dog that wouldn't go. Well, tonight will be the end. Yes, sirree, 'cause I intend to go ahead and kick him in his bo-do-do-de-o-do. Crazy words, crazy tune. All that you ever hear him croon is bo-do-de-o-do. Bo-do-do, he sits around all night long, sings the same words to every song. Bo-do-de-o, his ukulele. How he'll strum, bum-bum-bum, prancing, dancing, then he'll holler black bottom when in jail for my deed. To the jury and judge I'll plead, ho-do-de-o-do-do-do-do-do. This should be hung. Bo-do-de-o, he's got to stop it. Yes, he must, or I'll just kill him. Then I'll do the black bottom when in jail for my deed. To the jury and judge I'll plead. Bo-do-de-o, 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 bo-do-de-o.
Very nice,
Hit
yeah.
me, baby, one more time.
It needs one of those at the end of that, though. It needs a
It does, doesn't it?
I love those. Yeah, I love
beat
those
it,
little
can't
things.
beat
So
it.
who wrote Crazy Words then?
Jazz grab.
Jazz grab.
Tim Panelli tune, I suppose, that one.
Right.
I wouldn't know the
Should know it. It's on the
off
CD.
the top of my head. I'm surprised Chris doesn't know. Do you know the year though? You must know the year.
Yeah, very early
Yellen.
20s.
I'll take the year
Alan?
for $100.
Yeah, Tim Panelli
It's
though.
on
it's,
Yellen
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah,
the
Sam
Yellen
Vogue
wrote
Jack
was
Yellen?
a craze, if you know them.
Yeah, somebody Yellen
And
wrote
very
it
well
anyway.
executed, may I say.
We reckon it was Jack Yellen.
Okay.
Possibly Joey Yellen.
Yellen.
Jay Yellen.
I'll take Jack Yellen for £500, Chris.
It's not going to be a question that comes up on an quiz show. That is. Who wrote
No, probably not. Like Roy Smeck.
Few people did it though in the 20s. Like
Yeah. Well, there seems to be an affinity in Liverpool, certainly over the last 10 years. Well, 20 odd years with the guys you're on about in the pub.
Yeah.
With that kind of music.
Country music was always big in Liverpool as well, wasn't it? You know.
Yeah.
There's these strains running through, you know.
Well, where I'm from, it was all sort of like mining country and that, and Motown was king for whatever reason, right?
What's the connection?
I don't know, but you've got Northern Soul and you've got Wigan and St Helens and all this sort of thing. It's like this.
Wigan Casino, wasn't it?
I'm not really certain, but I had like, you know, my uncle who was a miner. You'd go around there, like, you know, you'd be deposited there because everyone was going out on the piss, and he'd be getting ready upstairs, and he'd be coming downstairs, you know. And he'd be singing like Bernadette. Oh! But this is a guy you couldn't get 2 words out of in the week. You know, he didn't. These men didn't talk, but for some reason, I don't know. Maybe the music,
bit of Motown and the way,
and a hell of a lot of booze.
Motown seems colourful in Wigan, though, doesn't it? It's very colourful sort of music when you're in.
And it's a grey drab place. It probably isn't now. They've probably got a Wetherspoons there.
Well, I mean, in like, I suppose in the 80s and stuff, you know.
Oh yeah,
So
it was
seen
horrible.
some footage today of Rowe Street, you know, in town in the 80s.
Right.
You know, the old bus stops.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
how
Where
grey
there was.
and drab it was, and
That whole sort of
where the
brutalist architecture, the Orwellian
The bubble sheds.
thing.
Yeah, the bubble
Well, there's a big
stops.
Chinese.
City.
Wasn't there a big Chinese restaurant there along one side?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, do you remember that? Because I remember when they first opened up the Albert Dock, and being a sort of renowned tight ass, I used to park there and walk into town, you know. And I always remember this big Chinese restaurant there.
The car park was down the slope.
That's it. That's the one.
There's a big toy shop there.
Oh, I don't remember
the
that.
Toys R Us it was. But
Toys R Us.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, in the Chinese.
I used to love going to Liverpool for records when I was younger. You know, like Scene of the Crime and Backtracks.
Scene of the Crime, Backtracks,
Yeah.
They're all gone now, then.
I know. Well, it's all fucking gone. You know, I was talking to someone on the podcast the other week about. Do you remember that cafe Trading Post on the corner by Concert Square? And used to go in there and get big lumps of that hominy pie, which you would have loved. Proper big veggie spud pie thing.
Spud pie.
And because and it's sort of like, you know, you go back years later and it's just loads of ketamine-addled idiots on a Saturday night, you know.
Cat pie.
Cat pie, yeah.
He's a local historian, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great guy, isn't he? Yeah, he lives around near Sefton Park, doesn't he? Professor Cat Pie. But I mean, it's interesting to speculate though why certain forms of music travel to certain areas. I mean, with this being a port, I can imagine that the records would get here from America.
That's always been that way. Yeah, I mean, people always think that with the Beatles and stuff because of the Beatles, the records they'd got hold of, but it was before then. I think it was in the 20s,
I'd say so.
It was known as Banjo. I've heard someone told me a story once. Liverpool was known as Banjo Town,
right?
In maybe talking 1900 then,
right?
Because the first, I think it was like a black minstrel group who went on tour, who actually went on out of America. Yeah. The first place they played was the Olympia in.
No, it was Bow Street.
Bow Street. I heard it was the Olympia in West Abbey.
No, it was a theatre on Bow Street.
We speak to different.
What was that? The Shakespeare. Was that the Shakespeare on Bow Street?
Well, it's not the Olympia, wasn't it?
Not the Olympia. No, there were 2 theatres, I think. On Richard will tell you.
Yeah, well, Doddy goes on about the Shakespeare Theatre, doesn't he?
Wasn't that the Playhouse? The Shakespeare was the Playhouse.
No, the Shakespeare was either bombed or burnt down. Because when he did the documentary, he said it's long gone. I don't know. I think it was London Road, actually. Yeah. Thinking about it.
No. But the first minstrel troupe came to Liverpool. Like,
yeah. So.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because I don't want to go over conversations I had with people in the podcast the other week, but this guy that you always mention, this Seth Davey chap, is very interesting. Have I got the name right?
Seth Davey, yeah.
Yeah. Because what was it? What did you say? It was like a lump of wood and dancey puppet things or whatever. I don't know. There's only one photograph, isn't there?
With a puppet on the end.
Go on, sorry, Bill. Go on.
A piece of wood with a puppet on the end.
That's no better.
What?
That's no better.
Well, that's basically what it was, right? Yeah,
it was a
plank of wood.
And the puppet had danced.
Jig dolls, they call them, don't they? They
All right,
they got
they had one in
wobbly
there.
legs.
Those sort of stringy things.
They bang the plank in
and they sort of contract.
Jig dolls,
and
aren't
that.
they?
Right, I
I
don't know. I don't
Well, I
know.
remember
There
a
was
guy.
somebody
Do you
in Belgium,
do you remember a guy in
Belgium in
Sorry.
at the Hurley had one.
Oh yeah,
Outside
that
of
was the
the
same
Hurley.
thing. I'm sure they got
I
jig
remember a
dolls.
guy in Liverpool when I was a kid. He used to wear a blue beret, and he had a little doll with a blue beret on,
Right.
and it was attached to the end of his guitar on a string. So when he was going like this, it was dancing.
I've
to
seen
him.
film of
familiar.
him.
That
I've seen
sounds
film of
familiar.
him.
I'd love
Yeah,
to see
I
that.
think-
'Cause
I
it
think
was-
you-
that was like one of
sounds
my.
familiar.
If you look on YouTube and look up the Eric's footage,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure he's
He's on
in
there.
that. I'm sure
Yeah,
he's
To
in
FedEx,
that.
did he?
No, he was just, in the
Blind
streets.
He's
In the
spotted
streets
glass.
around there. The one I remember in Liverpool was the guy outside Flanagan's Apple with the cardboard guitar.
Jacko.
Jacko.
the banjo
He used to
man.
have his autograph.
Jack Nesbitt. Jack
Wow.
the
He's
banjo
got,
man.
he's got
Legend.
an,
Is he still alive?
No, he passed
He
away.
passed
a
away
few years
very
ago, but there's a
recently.
website dedicated to him about
Oh, there'd have
everyone
to
who
be.
was.
I'm
you know
sure
what I mean?
someone sort of, if you end up speaking to Billy Butler, I'm sure someone told me Billy had him on. That he did a
Probably.
set on the radio. Blinky, 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 blinky.
Plinky
Sure,
Plonk.
he
A
did.
lot of
Like
people call him Plinky
Blinky
Plonk,
Plonk.
don't they?
Jack Nesbitt, his name was,
Jack
though, yeah.
Nesbitt,
Right.
He was great. He used to do all day. He just do
Remember
that and then he'd go to
remember the
pubs.
council, one time the council took him in, you know, just took him off the streets and just, he got pushed out about 6 months later, shaved, you know. He was all
Wow.
clean for a couple of months.
Career went downhill after
Yeah,
that.
I'll bet he did.
Because
lost his
remember,
image.
what a character though. Remember the tobacco in his beard?
Yeah, the white
that
beard
was
with the
stained
yellow
it
stains
was,
down
and,
it.
And do you remember he got the Christmas hat?
Yeah.
One Christmas,
Yeah,
and that was it.
yeah.
He's never off his head
Yeah,
for
that's
years.
right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
It's constantly.
He
He
was
was a good
outside,
money maker there, so
Yeah.
he made a little bit more money
Keep
that
that on.
month. Like,
he was outside Flanagan's, wasn't he? Well, that's what I remember.
Yeah, he was often back then. He was always round there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Around
I
that
did
sort
have his
of,
autograph. I asked him for his autograph.
Yeah,
we were
you
like,
did on it.
we were in school,
Yeah,
and I sellotaped it over the make on my bass at the time. We were doing gigs playing Lecky bass, and people were like, "Oh, what bass is that?" I'd be like, "Oh, it's Jack Nesbitt's original," and he'd be like,
original, yeah.
"Oh, is it? Yeah, oh, boss mate, yeah, great."
I know the Wizards of Twiddly
Must
have
have
got a
set you
song
back.
called Cardboard Banjo about it.
Have they?
Yeah, I know that one. I'm glad to know his name though.
Jack
It's
Nesbitt.
that's the thing though, isn't it? It's sort of like, you know, because there's loads of homeless around here now, which is a change from.
Oh, it's mad.
Yeah, it's just
Never seen
loads.
anything like it.
And but I remember when living in Vancouver, used to go the off license, right? How surprising! But I used to go and what they do over in Vancouver, because Vancouver's got the biggest skid row in North America. Because for Canada, it's warm. It's quite warm, really.
Yeah.
And so they jump on these massive trains, you know, the ones you see on films that like ding, 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 and they keep going forever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you get right across the country just by jumping on them. But what they'll do over there is they'll open the door when you go in a shop, you know,
No way.
sort of.
I
if
seen
it's
that when I was in Montreal. I
Yeah,
seen that.
yeah, it's the
guy
same
doing that
culture.
like it was his job outside McDonald's, you know, opening the door for you.
That's right, yeah, and that's how they get a few quid,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
But what was it called? It was called Davy Wines or some of this off. He don't fuck him out. That weren't the fella's name, by the way. Should have been. So he opens the door for me one week, and he's like that. Oh, thank you, sir, and whatever it was. And he comes outside, and I gives him some, and I said, "Oh, there you go." And you know, it's like knowing Jack Nesbitt's name and that, and it's like it's so depersonalised. I always, not that I'm fucking Jesus or Gandhi, but I always say, "All right, what's your name?" You know, because it's like. It's a bit of a mad transaction.
Get to
anyway.
paradigm. Why are you asking?
Yeah. Who are you? Who won't know?
But to say Jesus or Gandhi.
He said his name was Jeeves.
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 Happy days,
And I says to him, I says, "Oh, well, that's very apt holding the door open."
That's got to be.
Yeah, it is.
It's got to be for tax reasons. Though,
I don't know what
hasn't
it was, and I went and he had a bit of a look of Jack Nesbitt to him. And I went back there, well, they all do. And I went back there the next time, and he held the door open, and I said, "Thank you, Jeeves." And his face, because I remembered his fucking name. Yeah. You see, you don't realise just what that world is like, do you?
Yeah.
Just for someone to know your name and not spit on you or do whatever.
Or just blank you. I hate it when you see people blank.
Even if I haven't got money, and obviously going up Bold Street now, there's just you just ain't got the
Unbelievable.
time. You can't. But at least around here, because there's not that many, I suppose. At least it's like, well, I ain't got any money, but I'll have a bit of a chat, you know, as if there's any currency in what I have to say. but you know, yeah, nice one, mate.
Got a tip.
Chow gum.
Got a hot tip for you.
But you can see that it's just that basic human connection of having a chat with someone
Of course, yeah,
is
yeah.
mad, isn't it? And the shit that you take for granted. But yeah, good old Jack Nesbitt. He really was good value for money. On a Saturday night, the amount of shit he must have took outside of Flanagan's. Because I mean, I don't venture down Matthew Street anymore. I don't know if you guys got. I mean, is it still there, Flanagan's?
No idea.
so.
There used to be a bike on the ceiling, a little sort of. Do you remember the bicycle that was bolted to the ceiling? And there was an old Irish fella in there.
Irish, that's kind of an Irish pub staple, isn't it?
Is it? Well, the guy said to me, he's like, sure, if you can ride the bike on the ceiling, you get to drink for free all night. And I was like, oh, all right then, yeah, you know. But no, there's some great characters around here. But this Seth Davey dude,
How are you?
who I don't think there's very much known beyond. I've only ever seen that one photograph. I don't know about you.
That only surfaced a few years ago.
You've got Little Richard, as we call him.
That's right. Yes.
You say he's coming on.
Yeah.
He found this photograph.
Oh, did he?
Did he?
Didn't he? Oh, did he? No, sorry. I'm mistaken.
No.
That
That was Fats Domino.
He found something else.
He found that letter.
Yeah, it's a letter.
But you said that photo was round Scotty Road.
Yeah, that's where he used to be. Yeah.
Was it good?
And it was
like Bebbington.
When it was busy.
Bevington Bush.
Right.
So you can see the sign in the background on that photograph.
Bevington, not Bebbington.
Right.
Not Bevington.
And is this place still called Bevington Bush?
This is still there, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. Probably built over.
He's the tour guide.
Probably built over.
That's true, isn't it? You're Mr. Tour Guide. You still doing that?
Oh, wow, yeah.
I think I would love to go on one of your tours. I think you're dead
Have
good.
you not done it
Whenever
yet?
you want.
No,
Whenever you want.
no.
Come
Where
on.
did he start off?
Great.
Albert Dock.
And what? Where do you go on them?
Do you know what? It's one of them because the only time I don't go down and do it. But if we've got a band on, we've put a band on or something staying here, we'll take you on Chris's tour and I do it then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should do this more often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never been on it.
It's one of them things you only do it if you've got.
Yeah.
You've got friends from out of town and you're showing them round or something like that, you know. So
It's one of the things I've meant to do for ages
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I know
It's
you'd
that
be
thing,
good.
isn't it? I mean, how many people in Liverpool have been on the Beatles tour? Like, you know, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you don't.
I'll do a few of them as well.
You don't.
Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays.
You do Beatles
whenever
tours?
you want, mate.
8 days a
Whenever you
week?
want. 8 days a week.
So you do Beatles
I'll
tours?
do a few of them.
Do you
as
know
well,
who the Beatles are? They're a bit new for you.
Yeah, they are very contemporary, like, I know, yeah.
So what do you talk about on a Beatles tour?
Royce Mack.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Roy. Oh man. No, I'm intrigued. Come on, then.
I like the Beatles.
Name the Beatles.
I love
Name
60s
them.
stuff.
Name the Beatles. Never mind
Frank,
anything else.
Bob,
Yeah.
Jim,
Dozy,
Jim and Lenny.
Sleepy. You don't know who the Beatles are.
Kelly.
I like the
Lonnie,
Beatles.
Mo.
Yeah. Go on.
I love
then.
me 60s stuff.
1860s.
I like 60s stuff.
All right, I'll take you at face
No,
value.
that's his realm.
That's a good-
60s is his modern.
Yeah, that's me
when
modern
he's,
stuff.
when he's thinking, should we have
Something for the
should we put
teenagers.
something modern on, love?
Yeah.
Puts the Beatles
He puts
on.
Please Please Me on. It was
Yeah,
downhill
yeah,
after
yeah.
that. Yeah. Once they got Ringo in, they were ruined. Oh yeah, you've not heard of Ringo's the fella who was in it as well.
Little fella.
Well, I think we need a bit more music, because seeing as I've desperately tried to steer the conversation towards this Seth Davey character, but you're having fucking none of it. Let's have the ballad of Seth Davey. Who wrote this then, Chris?
It was a fella called
Glenn.
Well, you Googled this before.
Glingo.
no,
It was Glenn Hughes out of Deep
Don't know.
Purple.
Glenn
Glenn
Hughes.
Hughes out of
Glenn
Deep
Hughes.
Purple. Oh yeah. All right then.
all right.
I believe you.
50s? Was it 50s he wrote it? Must have been, wasn't it? But the chorus of this is what Seth Davey used to sing when he was doing his dolls on the plank.
Right. They go, they.
What is it? Yeah.
So apparently we just always remembered the kids, all the
Well, yeah, I
urchins
mean,
and that.
no tally, no
Love 'em.
nothing. You remember them days, so I mean, you know, he must have been pretty interested. Can you tell us any more about him?
Literally all I know is that he was. I mean, what we're talking. When did he die? 1806.
1906. It said on the internet 1850 to 1906.
I know he was like the descendant of a slave who
Right.
came to Liverpool.
Right.
And that he had his jig dolls and all the kids watched them and loved them, and he's just one of them people, and he's always been
Yeah.
remembered on like folklore kind of thing, you know, but a real fella.
Wonder what he played though.
What he played? I don't think he played anything. On that photograph, he has not played an
he
instrument.
sang.
He sang.
He sang, didn't he?
Yeah.
The chorus of this is what he used to sing, which apparently was an old minstrel song or something.
Yeah,
right.
It kind of sounds a bit sounds a bit sea shanties as well, doesn't it? To me a bit.
Sea shanties.
Sea shanties.
Let's hear it then. By Glengar Star.
Right then. Okay, yeah.
It's just you now.
Just me, is it? Yeah. Here we go then. He sat on the corner of Bevington Bush, stride of an old packing case, and the dolls at the end of his plan went dancing as he crooned with a smile on his face. La 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 la, come they go they, wishing me heart was Sunday. La 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 la, drinking buttermilk all the week and whiskey on a Sunday. The three dancing dolls, la-dee-dee-da, and I've cocked up the way. Tied those hands. Don't think I need to forget. La-dee-dee-dee. Ah, you're not going to get lost here. He sat on the corner of Bevington Bush, stride of an old packing case, and the dolls at the end of his plank went dancing as he crooned with a smile on his face. La 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 la, come they go they, wishing me happy Sunday. La la la, drinking buttermilk all the week and whiskey on a Sunday.
Tied up hands.
His tired old hands drum the wooden beat, and his dolls, they danced again. Was a far better show than you'd ever seen at the Billy or the New Brighton Pier. La 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 la, come they go they, wishing me heart was Sunday. La 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 la, drinking buttermilk all the week and whiskey on a Sunday. Might as well do a solo there, Bill.
All right.
In 1906, old Seth Davy died. His son, it was heard no more. The three dancing dolls, they got lashed in the bin, and the plank went to mend the back door. La 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 la, come they go they, wishing me heart was Sunday. La 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 la, drinking buttermilk all the week and whiskey on a Sunday. On some stormy nights down on Scotty Road way, with the wind blowing in from the sea, you can still hear the song of old Seth Davy as he sang to his dancing dolls. La 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 la. Come day, go day, wishing me heart was Sunday. La 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 la. Drinking buttermilk all the week and whiskey on a Sunday. La 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 la. Come day, go day, wishing me heart was Sunday. La 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 la. Drinking buttermilk all the week and whiskey on a Sunday. Whiskey on a Sunday. Whiskey on a Sunday.
Well done, Bill. You squeezed a bit of Deep Purple in there at the end.
Who? Never heard of him.
Yeah, no, I've not either.
Sorry.
Don't even go there.
So didn't you two go to school together this summer?
Yeah.
So you've known each other since school days?
Since,
Yeah, back in 1906.
Seniors, yeah. We went to like prep school.
Prep for what? A life of crime.
Yes.
So,
God, yeah.
go on then. Do you remember what that day was like in school? Do you remember how you actually met in school?
He tried to flog me
It
at
was
Black
over-
Guns N' Roses.
It was over Guns N' Roses. Yeah. I had my business selling tapes.
Were you the lad in
I
school
was
who had the
selling
list and the bag?
I was selling tapes. I was recording Guns N' Roses. Well, I was trying to.
What, you were making the tapes yourself?
I was recording.
That's
yeah.
really enterprise.
Photocopying
Well,
the
yeah,
covers
yeah.
and that.
Yeah.
Oh, aye, yeah.
Well, we had a lad
But
in
it never
school who
worked
did it,
because
but
everyone's mum complained. £2 it was a tape. You got the cover photocopied in black and white.
yeah.
The tape was a
Out the
C60
library.
tape recorded. Yeah, and it was £2.
Listen, mate, we both know you could have got them full colour in Tubric market for £2.50. You know what I mean?
Right, so that's what it
Yeah,
was.
no
Seeing
chance.
like cards
You were
for
murdered
sale.
by the competition.
The competition was
No arguing with that.
We had a lad in school when I went to school, Paul Sinnott, and he used to come in with 1 week it was like, this is when you're 14, 15, 1 week it was like aftershave and stuff. You're like, what? I'd love a pair of sideburns, never mind learning how to shit.
Wow.
And then he had a list of albums. He come in, and I remember, yeah, and I got hip hop and rapping in the house. off him. Yeah.
Well, I used to remember like we laugh at him now for liking all this. Well, like the same shit.
He's just
you know.
as bad.
But you know, I know what I mean.
He collects
Oh,
bloody.
you're so willing.
We're going
When
down.
we
We're gonna go down the Hawaiian route in
Yeah,
a
but when we
minute.
were in
aren't we?
school, when we were in senior school, we used to because Chris bought it. Chris's music, he bought it from the garage. The garage next door to the school, and it was a tape called Hits for Mum and Dad. It was like a rock and roll.
I
It
like
was a
me 50s rock and
tape,
roll
you
stuff.
know.
You do, yeah. I remember
But
getting.
it did. Well, I love that now, but at 14 in school in Anfield, it's strange, you know.
I'll bet it bloody is, yeah.
It's, what are you in listening to? What's on your Walkman, Chris? Oh, hits for Mum and Dad.
Snip. They cut the earphones off. No, music was such an odd thing in school because, and I'm sure it still is. It's really tribal. Wasn't it?
Well,
You
of
had
course,
to be
yeah,
into what you were into. It's like,
Do you
well,
think
you
it's
can
like
go.
that as much anymore? I don't know if it's so.
I don't know. I don't really understand music
music
anymore. It
so
doesn't
tribal
sound like
anymore?
music to me.
I know, like most of the time, like they have it on an MP3, they don't even know the title of the song. So you
That's
just
an
walk
odd
around listening to
relationship.
this.
Are we just
I
Yeah.
don't,
are we
I
just
don't want to
gonna
get
moan
involved
about
in that.
kids?
I don't think.
No.
I don't believe any of that. I don't believe that we know more than they know about music. 'Cause
Well-
that's, as
Well,
we
there isn't
sort
like
of
there's a
said
certain,
before,
there's a certain, there always has been a certain
they're just getting worse. It's
kids
getting
at
worse
school,
and
wasn't
worse,
there?
basically.
There was
who were
certain
into
what?
music.
Oh, why?
And there was those that probably
Yeah.
weren't, who were probably the same ones who don't know the names of the tracks you're listening to.
The people
So,
who
yeah,
tape
it's-
the
it's
top
still-
40 on a Sunday.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the 60s.
Yeah,
Did you still
yeah.
have a top 40 now, though?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. You got to remember that kids will still
Oh,
be
yeah,
as
they
sharp
still
as
do.
we were. Well, not me, but kids will always be sharp, and so they're going to
You
be
still see kids
somewhat
walking around.
switched
Like,
on.
you know, I saw a lad the other day, he's only 12 or 13, walking along with a Doors t-shirt on, you know, it's like...
But was he wearing it ironically?
No, he looked he looked like he knew.
He looked like
the
Jim
Doors.
Morrison.
He wasn't
He had a
Doors,
beard
it was,
like that. You know.
He was only 12. I remember Madonna wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt, ironically, a couple of years back, and then they were in Topshop.
I don't think it's even ironically, is it? It's just off a rack, isn't it?
I suppose, yeah. Well, all this stuff came from Iraq as well. I'm sure all this fucking knockoff Hugo Boss and shit.
Certainly Beirut.
It's fucking cool. That I don't know. I think that world's gone. You know, bootleg tapes and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason.
Do you reckon you still go out washing cars?
Totally gone. It's just like
Who?
Washing cars.
Who kids?
Yeah, they must still wash cars.
yeah, I think they still make money in illegal ways, but
I think.
but it has gone because I've seen them. People keep putting videos up on YouTube, and it's like rare footage of Metallica, and you're like, there's no such thing as rare footage anymore.
No, not when it's gone on the internet.
That was when someone just had the one VHS of that fucking performance.
Yeah.
They've always
Like, it
done
was a
that as
rare,
well. Like they
you
always
know.
have like on film, like the rare footage of, I don't know, the Alex Harvey band or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, I remember
hundreds of times.
there'd always be one kid who was always like, it's generally a kid from Crompton if you're in Widnes, because they had all the bloody money. Yeah, Crompton was like where the posh people live in Widnes. And there was one guy who lived up in Crompton, and he'd, let's say there was one copy of an album in Liverpool at Penny Lane Records, and it was an import, a Dinosaur Jr. album, right? And he had
An
a copy of it.
grunge album.
And you'd walk up there with the tape, and you would walk 3 miles or something just to sort of sit in his house all night, and it's like, and you'd want him to put this album on. And he'd get it out and sort of tantalise it and just. And then put it back. Oh fucking hell! You know what I mean? And it's sort of getting to 11 o'clock at night, and you've got this tape burning a hole in your pocket.
Them days have definitely
Still
gone.
recording.
Leave the tape
Are
with
you
me.
Are you recording this? I thought you were recording it all secretly.
No,
Before
God,
to put it
no.
on and getting it,
Oh no! It was important that you had a dead
He
good
was
copy.
a copy,
You'd been down to Superdrug and bought a nice T90 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
You know,
quality. Yeah.
really nice cellophane still on, like a fresh deck of cards in
Yeah,
Las
yeah,
Vegas.
yeah.
You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
This is getting done.
Taking the wrapper off for this. I'm going to open this.
I had
up.
mates though who would just put the album on and not let you fucking record. It's like, no, I don't think I'm going to let you record this. And you're like,
You could be like that then, though. You had power. It gave people power.
But
back
that's
then,
when
like
it was
a thing,
rare.
didn't it? Yeah.
that was it. That
There
was the
power in
one
it, and
copy
then
in
saying, "I'm not
Liverpool.
gonna- no one else is getting
You
this
know,
copy.
if you wanted to hear that new Pigface album,
Well,
you
he
had to
used
go and
to have-
cozy up to
He
someone.
used to have a SNES with it, but he had a Japanese import of it. It was a disc drive for a SNES. So
Right.
anyone who brought a game round, they just paid 50, 60 quid for the game.
Because
He'd
you
just
go
put
with that,
put it in, put a floppy disk in and copy it.
Right, you had the moody
Yeah.
crack. Was it a crack disc they used to call
What
it?
was it
Exactly,
called?
that's not what it was called.
I
Again,
know what
from
you
Tubular
mean.
Market.
What's Tubular Market like? I've never been. Is it still as colourful and exotic?
It's
I don't know.
I have been recently, but I don't know. It's just Tubular.
But the world's changed like in 10, 15 years.
The market's still the same, yeah.
I always remember witness Topshop getting knocked over, and then the next day you were going around the estate and they all had the same leather on.
Everyone's dressed the same.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's a mad thing. I got a love-hate relationship with all that
You
kind
don't really
of
get
world.
that stuff anymore, though. Do you really get that kind of criminality anymore?
I don't know.
Petty
I
stuff.
have a
It's
mate
so petty, it's like,
I've got a mate who's got a theory that everything's so cheap now that people
I
don't
don't
steal
think you
things.
do get that kind of low-level sort of, criminals are all about making
Lots.
big bucks now, aren't
I
they?
don't know, Home and Bargain have still got wanted posters up in the window.
The one here's still got.
Yeah, but Home and Bargain's also Home and Bargain's security guard is also a fucking.
It's a cardboard stopper.
window.
Yeah, I was pleased to come back after 10 years, not living around here for 10
Still
years,
there,
and
floating
it was
away.
still there. This cardboard copper in the
Yeah,
window. It was
yeah.
like, that'll stop them.
Save some money.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Do you reckon anyone's ever been fooled?
Yeah.
I have a few times. I'll tell you, I've been over there and jumped. He's about 7 fucking foot.
Oh
This
yeah, that's
thing
because he's floating above the. He can't start. 'cause
floating
he's-
above the skips.
Yeah, he's got to be above where the window starts because he's stuck to the window, isn't he?
Oh, certainly. But Own Bargains is
But
great
I've seen
for
him.
cheap
It's
noodles,
not just
man.
in the I'm not offended, but I thought, man, to Home and Bargain just put this fucking fella up in Liverpool, but I've seen him. I've seen him in Wales anyway.
Oh,
It's not
it's
just
in all
us.
of them,
Right,
You know,
so it's not an insult.
I thought it might have, I was taking it as an insult.
No, I think home bargains,
But it's
which is called
homegrown.
Home and
quality
bargain
save.
it's called.
No, home and bargain is the Scouse thing.
Home and bargain is it.
All right. Let's say it's home and bargain.
Let's stick with home and
But
bargain.
when it's not around here, it's called quality save or quality and save, I suppose, if you're a Scouser.
quality and save.
Quality save, it's the same logo, you know, the blue and the red.
Is it, yeah?
Yeah. It's like years ago, you'd go to Sayers, you know, for a pasty.
Sayers,
And you go in Manchester. Hampsons?
Hampsons,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
But all the artwork was the same. All the,
Absolutely,
the
well, it's the
graphic
same.
design.
The livery, they call that.
Sayers artwork.
The livery, the Sayers livery remained.
The Sayers livery.
And Own Bargain, similarly, is
Sayers-
quality save. Quality and
Sayers coat
save.
of arms.
Yeah, the Sayers coat of arms. Oh, yeah, they changed it. I mean, in Manchester, when we were living there,
But what was that all
the
about?
Asda was called...
The-
Dales.
Just as there.
No, you call it the Asda.
The Asda, yeah.
Yeah.
The-
Oh, there used to be a really shit joke. I got my mate with it about 3 times in school.
I love shit jokes.
Yeah, would you want to hear it?
Oh, yeah, of course,
Knock,
yeah.
knock.
No. There's been a fire down the Tesco. Asda. No, the Tesco. I got him about 3 times. He was like, yeah,
It wouldn't work here in Liverpool, that though, would it?
Why not?
Because they just answer no.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't say Diaz there.
Yeah.
Diaz there.
Yeah.
No.
I'd have to say something like that. I'll have to
I
learn.
actually thought you meant as there.
We'll have to adapt that. Yeah, we'll have to adapt that, won't we,
Doesn't
for the
work.
modern palate,
Diaz
as they
there.
say.
It'll be worth it in the long run.
Not for the
It will be
Scouts-
worth
the
it in the long
Scouts
run.
palate.
So anyway, this Seth Davey fella, did he go to home and
Oh,
bargain?
yes, I
Oh, yeah. No, I do like it. I think Greg's has totally overrun Sayers. Nobody has.
Well,
If
yeah,
you,
Sayers,
they have Greg's in London now. They have drive-through Greg's
you know what
in
it
London.
was?
Drive-through.
Drive-through
The downfall of
Greg's.
Sayers was charging you 20p more to sit in.
Do you think?
Yeah, they charge you, well, whatever it is.
Didn't know that.
There's a tax to. They ask you, are you eating in or taking out?
Right.
And there's a tax to sit in there. And have you seen the people who eat in Sayers?
No. I usually hide around the back.
Like me. People like me.
Well, you won't know this, but do you remember the pie shop in Widnes?
No.
You don't remember the pie? Right. So
The pie shop.
which one?
Was it
how
called
can
the
you?
pie shop?
It was called the Pie Shop.
Where was it?
It was by Sims Cross.
Oh.
And there was a guy in there with a big ginger beard, and you'd go in there. And I went in there. And you've got to go to the pie shop. All right, I'll go to the pie shop. And he did burger and bean pies. Right? It was like a pork pie with a really clatty sort of Westler's burger and beans in the middle.
Tin burger.
Tinned burger and bean. There you go. That'll do ya. And he did curried steak and all that. And he's like that. I remember going in there first. He's like, "Do you want it warm?" It was like that. Yeah, all right then. Oh, that'll be 20p more because of the VAT man. And looking out the window and in school like that. And then he tells you a shit joke. And then the story was that he put his wife in the pies anyway.
Oh, right, yeah.
You reminded me with the 20p
course,
surcharge for heat.
Yeah.
And that's probably the same thing. You're sitting there to get a warm, don't you?
Yeah.
When you've been with your cardboard
Well, that's a good
guitar
thing,
all
isn't
day.
it? That stories about like local shops and like he puts his wife in the pie.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's a legend. Go if you know. I'm sure you'll find out all about him. Bill's getting a bit sort of like, is this going to go on all night? This pie talk.
It's gone over to
You know what
pie
it's
now.
like, Bill. Get me onto pastry. That's me. You know. No. I'm just interested in how you met
Pies.
because and pie, obviously. You know, salad dodging since 1980. No, because it's. I remember. I'm sure you told me some mad fucking story about being in school and either beating a kid up or beating a teacher up or something like that.
Me?
No, him.
Our school was pretty mad. Like,
Just weren't you put in a bin or one of the kids was put in a
Put
bin?
in a bin. Oh, one of them was put in a bin.
Oh, with
no,
and the
bin. He
forks.
wasn't put in a bin.
the bin
A
was
bin
put over his
the
head.
bin was
That
put
was
on
it.
wasn't
You want me to talk about that on here?
Yeah, why not?
Really?
Well, why not?
So that's what
Do you mean what I think I know what you mean, like,
It was a great story.
really?
Yeah, it was funny.
I'll have to change the names to protect the
course.
innocent, like.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't prepared for this, like, yeah, well, it was pretty mad school, like, you know.
I know. That's why it's funny.
Well, I was stood, me and him had long hair in school. So
Oh,
we were,
really?
Oh, yeah. So we
Mine
were.
is long now. I've just combed it back.
Yeah,
that
yours
far.
is actually long.
I've actually
yeah.
got a tail.
Yeah. He's tied back.
You're fair game, aren't you? Well, you were back then.
Well, in school, fuck
We
yeah.
were hippie.
So-
What's known as hippies.
I was there's no punchline here, but I'll warn you now.
All right. Well, let's hear
So
it.
yeah, well, if it's what we're thinking is, I was stood there having a ciggy with my mate
In school.
in the yard behind the canteen
Teacher.
there, having a little ciggy in there, and every now and again, all the, like the maddest scals that just seem to group together and go on a bit of a rampage. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well, settle in.
They'd have just a day of fun, wouldn't they?
Restless and that. They get a bit restless.
It must have been a bit hot or something.
Bit hippie bashing.
You know, they all got it.
It was an easy target, you know that.
And so I was stood there with my mate.
We're asking for it, weren't we?
Yeah. So I mean, my mate who was with him, he wore trackies. He wasn't a scal or nothing, but he was just pretty trendy, you know, wore all the gear that everyone was wearing. And we were stood there and just seen a big, massive, I can't believe I'm saying this, big gang of scals just all going mad in the yard. And then they made a beeline for us, loads of them, like, and we were in a corner, so we couldn't get away, like, and yeah, they were coming over, and I remember my mate saying to me, you know, he was backing away from me, like, you know, he wants to be with me, like, he's like, oh, for you, you're gonna get fucked, you're gonna get it for you. And I was like, I know. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing, we were in the corner, I can't go anywhere. So I just stood there, just waiting for it, like. It was just all coming at me and that, and they just come, and it was like I wasn't even there. They just completely and utterly ignored me. Grabbed him, dragged him off the wall. Grabbed one of the big metal dustbins. Grabbed a big metal dustbin. Threw that over his head. So it was like his hands were just sticking out. And he was like that. And I was just stood there like, was watching like that. And then it gets horrible now. And then they all pulled their forks out, they nicked from the dinner canteen. Just, I started shivering them like. I just had to stand and watch. He was in a terrible state.
Oh, very bloody was.
Yeah.
So they just
did
did his hands
all over him. No, all his ass and that and his legs and that, you know.
Evil fucking bastards, man. This is the thing, you know, you tell the kids that now, they won't believe you, you know.
Oh, I mean, you know.
There's probably a Facebook version of that.
There's probably an app, isn't there, fork stabby?
Yeah, shove the kid in the bin and just have him.
Yeah. You're in the bin. You just got an email telling you you've been...
But you've moved away from all this craziness now, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
In which way?
You want a drink?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Was it looking...
Oh, yeah.
You look
You've only got two
dry.
left, you know.
Very dry and out. Hasty.
Thank
you very much. Cheers, Livo.
Yeah, you sort of moved away from all that world of madness, though, haven't you? I mean,
Well,
really-
Physically moved away, you mean?
I don't
Yeah.
live in...
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, sometimes I do think that, yeah. Sometimes I go back to it. I go back to see my dad in Anfield now and I think...
Take your forks with you.
Lost something for you. I lost something.
Forks
Take
in
me
your
bin. Take me bin and me forks.
Yeah. It is certainly strange when you think about where you've come from and everything like that, and you know you've left Guns
Well,
N'
they're small
Roses
worlds,
behind.
aren't they? Them, like, you know,
Yeah.
little areas when you're a kid.
Yeah. Well, they are the world, aren't they?
They are the world.
In the
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
Michael Jackson
Yeah,
singing it
yeah.
sort of thing, but
Wasn't in that sense.
no.
I'm just thinking about the type of people who come to watch our gigs, listening to this.
Well, I think they should know who they're giving money to, Chris. Don't you?
Yeah, what the support.
I never ever stabbed anyone with a fork.
No, I know. You just let it happen.
I just stood and looked. There was loads of them.
It's up another fag.
I learnt a lesson, because the reason why he got stabbed was because he had a boil on his face. So I learned the lesson that a boil is worse than long hair, if you know what I mean. There's a
Right.
pecking order.
But you've got no
I just
choice with a
worked out what
boil.
the pecking order was. Well, he had no choice, but that was... Why was he laughing at Chris when he was...
When he had a boil.
He was quite concerned for my
his
well-being,
issue-
to be honest. As I was.
He was kind of laughing. Though,
Oh,
so
I know. That's why you fucked
I
off.
couldn't do
That's
that.
why you just smoked your cigarette while he got stabbed.
What could I
in the
do?
legs.
Come on now. Come on now.
That's true. I don't know how many scallies were there.
You can't
Loads of
class. You can't.
It was like a cloud of them going across the yard.
Swarm.
Swarm.
Have you ever seen one alone?
No, you don't see them
They were
alone.
the old school. It wasn't like Ketwigs and that. It was
No.
it was like shaved heads.
Yeah.
Bomber jackets. Or,
I probably had a Ketwig at the time.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we had the Ketwigs back then.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was at school, the scallies wore Ben Sherman shirts, Farrah pants.
Farah pants.
Farah pants.
Farah.
Farah, is that how you
I
say
don't
it?
know,
Right.
I've never said it out loud.
Right, no, well, I thought it was Farah.
I think you're right.
Farah.
I think Farah.
Farah.
There was
Farah
Farah
cakes.
Fawcett Majors, but there was Farah pants.
That's right. But do you remember they had the,
Farah
what is it,
cakes.
Lacoste with the
Lacoste, yeah.
crocodile?
Crocodile,
yes.
But you could get the cheap ones with a little dolphin on.
Oh, yeah.
Le Shark!
Yeah.
Le Shark!
Yeah.
So it's like my mum got me a Le Shark one, not good enough.
Bash! The United Colours of Skeleton. Well, see, to this day, I don't know any of the names of the birds that you see, just local birds flying about, because when I was in school, some lad said, look, there's a kestrel. And he got punched in the face for it. I was like, never learn the names of any of the birds.
No. Well, it's like now if you're texting a mechanic when your car's and you're like, shit, I'm not going to put any punctuation. I'm not getting the spelling right because you know it's 50 quid on the bill.
Yeah,
if I put a comma in this text,
Yeah.
I am fucked. So it's like, KM8, got away with it, you know.
Yeah,
It's the same thing. You really
course,
do. You've
it's-
always
yeah.
got to deal with that
You've got to
shit.
know how to different sections of society. How to fit in.
Absolutely. Not that there's anything
Not
wrong
get
with being a
taken
mechanic.
advantage of.
Mechanics do really good jobs if you're listening.
Well, you're not
And I'll
saying
be in
anything
Monday.
wrong. All you're saying there is that if they think you've got money, they're going to take advantage of you and get more.
I
out
think
of
there's
you.
also an animosity
That's what everyone
towards kids who fucking... I mean, not that I achieved anything in school.
I think you're better
Nothing.
than me, a lonely mechanic.
Yeah, and they're all minted with
Well, I've
big
done-
cars
I've
and
done
big
my
houses
fair-
and
I've done my
everything.
fair share of cleaning, so I often look at office workers with disdain and hatred.
Oh yeah. But I've worked in offices. It's fucking hell.
I can imagine.
It is
yeah.
absolute hell. I mean, you've got the best job of all. On the bus and
that's
that.
great.
On the buses.
It's just great because every day you just being
You
you
have a good
and,
laugh.
and having a laugh.
I was
and
on there
knowing
yesterday, had a
shit.
good laugh.
Yeah. Didn't you?
No one else is, though.
Doesn't matter.
I remember in Dublin being on one of them buses and the guy going, he's taking us through Dublin and that, and he said, over in America they've got Disneyland, and over here we've got that place, and he pointed at, is it the Foyle or something there, but Houses of Parliament, you know, where they have,
And where then? What?
in Dublin.
Oh,
What's it called?
It's not the
Phineas
Foyle.
Foyle or
It's something like that, and they
Phineas
got a
Fogg.
funny name, you know, to piss the English off, they didn't call it
Something
Parliament.
we can't pronounce.
And they've got some great stuff over there. I'm going on your tour.
Oh, yeah, do
I
it.
am
Do it.
definitely going on it.
No, you really should, you know.
I really want
it's
to. I've always
amazing.
said it. Was saying the other night to Paragon, it was like, gotta go on Chris's tour because it'll be dead funny.
Definitely, yeah, do it.
But you'll have got some beatings in school or ran from some with your longer. And what was it you were
No, I
jumping?
never did.
No, you
Really?
wouldn't. No,
Never.
Wow.
Never,
because well,
never,
I bet you went to a
He was the
nice
cock- he was
school.
the cock of the
No,
school.
West Derby Comp, yeah.
All right. Were you the one with the teacher who was the army fella?
Yeah.
Nah, this is a
Emily Williams.
corker. This is a corker. Get in on the mic, Bill. Let's get this
Emily
one.
he had like a big handlebar. Well, I can't remember. This is my memory going back. Big handlebar moustache, military gear, and he used to drive a jeep
To school.
to school.
Through
No,
the
he was a
playground at the
teacher.
kids. This is a teacher.
He didn't park in the car park. He parked in the playground in the yard.
On the kids.
And he used to come with his feet. You could see it in his eyes. Eyes would glaze over. And he just like that, like all the kids jumping over. And he'd bring guns and all sorts in for the pupils. I mean, he was legendary. Legendary teacher. Yeah,
I just love how he just
Yeah.
he parked next to his room. I'm
Yeah,
parking
yeah,
next
yeah.
to my fucking
That's
room.
it.
You can fuck
All
off.
the teachers were shit scared of him as well. All the other teachers, the headmaster was scared of him.
Wow.
The headmaster wouldn't come out of his room. He's scared of the
What did he
kids.
teach?
Did he
Thumping.
teach? I don't think he actually taught anything.
Just came in.
He used to come in.
You didn't see what he thought.
Oh,
For some
yeah.
reason, like,
But didn't he all? He gave you all a nice drink of whiskey when you left.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Bring
Yeah,
out the whiskey
kids.
at the end of term or
Oh,
something,
whiskey.
you know. Yeah.
Sorry
Wasn't it
about
special
all,
whiskey though?
Yeah, special whiskey. I used to like the colour of whiskey.
Yeah.
But you have to
So he
drink
brought a
it.
bottle of
You have to
piss
drink
in.
it in-
And gave them all a glass of
privately in his
piss
office.
when they
That's
left.
what I've done.
Well, you're off into the big world, boys. Have a glass of my slash. Now you're thinking the bin was a good deal.
Bin's not.
No. It's just the idea of this teacher driving across a fucking car patch. Like,
I can
oh.
still see him. I can still see that look in his eyes. Glazed look.
Oh, he was back in Korea,
And
wasn't he,
could
that
give the
guy?
cane,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
That's probably the cane.
Oh, we got that every... What we had in our school
We
as well
never
as the
had
cane,
this.
we had a strap thing. Honestly, it was about that long, and you think, oh yeah, it's a bit of a bell, but it weren't. This thing was manufactured and it was stitched at each end, and one end the stitching was coming apart, and you could see the metal rod with the rivet on the end, you know, that went through the damn thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, we used to get the strap, and I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure I'm making this bit up. Yeah, I'm sure it had a sort of in gold writing. You know, the sort of the Punisher, Wade's England. But I imagine in a factory somewhere they made these bloody things. It was.
When was it they stopped?
Well, they were still doing it in my school in Ashton in Makerfield, but when we moved to Widnes, it was great because they banned it there. Yeah. But yeah, I used to have to stand out the fucking, so, you know,
did it get banned slowly?
No, it was about 19. They just stopped it. It would be about 1980s or something.
It was in the 80s. It was. I was certainly.
You were lucky there, eh?
I was certainly still getting it in the mid 80s because I used to get dragged out at front of the assembly, and it was like that. Livesley. I was like, and it's just a regular fixture. Oh, he's on. It was just a regular fixture. I got it every fucking week. I just ended up saying I did it. Just get it out the fucking way. You know what I mean? So you just stand at the front and it's like in front of the whole school, just with your hand out like that. It's a great scene in Kes, though, isn't it?
I couldn't even imagine it. I could just thinking back to school. I couldn't even imagine it.
They used to make us wait outside the headmaster's office. Like at the beginning of break, you had to go, and then he wouldn't come in until the end for maximum effect. Like it was just like, you know, real punishments.
Oh, it was.
We had one teacher was like, what was it? He was only young because apparently, but you know, Paul was. He went to my school. He said he was still there when he was there. Yeah. And he came in like, and it was like literally the big blackboard rubbers, like, you know, he'd chuck them at your head. I can remember like being picked up by my hair and my feet off the ground.
The sat ear was the worst. When they picked you up by this bit.
I had a huge lump on my head, and then I can remember like we used to watch. Nicky Wong in the mobile classrooms at a break time. We used to watch him bouncing off the walls as he.
Who's this teacher?
He used to throw Nicky Wong across the classroom, bounce him off the walls.
Oh, they were fucking brutal.
The way things have changed then, because if that wasn't that long before we went to school daily, if a teacher even vaguely touched anyone in our school, the
worst when I went to school, we had two teachers that were in World War One when I went to school, right? They were well beyond retirement age. We had Mr. Lawton and Mr. Mulroy. And Mr. Lawton used to sit at the front of the fucking class with a fag in his mouth, with white hair and a yellow line in it, like Jack Ignit or whatever. What was it? Jack Nesbitt.
Well, from when he'd been smoking there.
Yeah, the fucking fag stained his hair like that. He had pure yellow teeth. And Lawton used to beat the shit out of you. I once saw him, you won't believe this, but we'd have been 5 or 6 years of age. And Lawton would have been about 70 then because he taught me mum and me aunties and everything. He shouldn't have been at school, shouldn't have still been working. And he got this girl and he brought her out the front of the class, 6-year-old girl, pulled her bloody underwear down and smacked her bare ass on his knee. You're just like, can you imagine that now? It'd be like front of the newspaper shit, you know. I don't know what it was. I suppose because it was a Catholic school that I went to, it was probably, you know, sanctioned by.
Get away with murder, Catholic school.
Yeah. The worst were the ex-nuns. We had 2 ex-nuns teaching us. One was Miss Lancashire and one was Miss Bibby. Fuck. And Miss Bibby had like a fucking proper tash. You know, a really thick black tash with a boil. Not that she got lobbed in a bin. What a shame.
They come with a boil, don't they?
Yeah, she did.
Tashes, yeah.
Oh, she was horrendous. Honestly, she looked like Patrick Troughton. She was horrible. She was absolutely fucking horrible. But anyway, Seth Davey. He was a lad.
Should we do it for you?
Yeah, let's hear that wonderful old ballad. I don't know, we could probably sit here all night, couldn't we? Let's do one more tune and then go to the pub. How's about that?
Sounds good.
Right.
Sounds like good.
Have we got to tie this tune in with what we've been talking about?
If you could manage that, I would be so mightily impressed.
So you were in Anfield, not Goodison then.
Oh, that's a cracking story. Have you ever heard the story of Billy Hitler?
Billy Hitler.
You've heard the story of Billy Hitler, right? Yeah.
He used to drink in cabanas, didn't he have his own season?
I believe.
Well, one of an old boy in the Crack used to say, "Oh yeah, Billy Hitler and Adolf came over in the 30s, like, you know, to see him." Because Adolf Hitler, his brother Aloysius, did live on Upper Parliament Street and did have a child called William Hitler, and that's true. But the legend is that
Stanhope Street.
Stanhope Street. Thank you, Chris. You see all that fucking absolutely.
College or something, yeah.
Yeah. Any road. They said that Adolf came over, didn't they, in the 20s when he was down and out to bum off his brother and get some money and that. So this old boy in the crack used to be, oh, yeah, I saw Adolf, you know, I saw him down Goodison watching the footy. He said, you don't want to be down here watching this shit. Come with me to Anfield. Oh, man. Anyway, there you go. Just one of those tall tales. And now, so to play us out... After an exploration of your career, the Ukulele Uff Trio. What's the website, Bill?
Ukulele Uff. No, yeah, Uff Trio.
Right.
Yeah. .co.uk.
Uff Trio. We'll put it in the description and all that other stuff.
ukuleleuffTrio.co.uk. I think I'm mixed up with the email address. Ukulele Uff Trio at.
Chris is just mastering telephones. He's like, wow, get off your cake.
.uk co.
All right, we'll put it on the screen. It'll be all right. So to play us out now, the musical stylings of the Ukulele Uff Trio with a song that is uncannily and amazingly going to mention everything we've been on about in the last 30 minutes. I look forward to this.
From pies to
I am poised.
pins to
Everything.
wow.
Right.
Right then.
Take it away, boys.
What song is it?
Stars and Stripes.
Okay.
Yeah. Bins and forks.
Bins and forks.
Okay. Ready?
Thank you.